I genuinely cannot believe this shit. I genuinely cannot believe this shit. I genuinely cannot believe this shit, guys. Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video. So after the absolute bombshell that was dropped in yesterday's version 1.6 livestream, I'll be going through the complete summary of what to expect in version 1.6 as fast as humanly possible, and then we'll be discussing how players can better prepare themselves for the new endgame content that is Memory of Chaos 12 as well as Pure Fiction, with this video specifically being tied to Memory of Chaos since we haven't had experience for Pure Fiction yet. Right, so without further ado, let's just jump straight into today's content. First of all, Trailblaze mission, which is the main story. We have the Crown of Mundane and Divine. Next, the two new 5 stars, ruanmei being an Ice Harmony and Dr. Ratio being an Imaginary Hunt, and one new 4-star that is Xueyi, a Quantum Destruction unit. Ruanmei will be with Xueyi, March and Tingyun, making it one of, if not the best 4-star spellers to date, with Dr. Ratio having Shu Shang, Natasha and Hook. Since Dr. Ratio will be given for free, I genuinely cannot believe this shit, guys. Ruanmei's light cone will come with Planetary Rendezvous, Day 1 of My Life and Secret Vow, while Dr. Ratio's light cone banner will come with Perfect Timing, Silence Remains and Landau's Choice. At this point, I think Ruanmei's light cone is also an excellent pick since Planetary Rendezvous is very universal. You can essentially step on with most supports that have the same element as your DPS, so excellent light cone in that regard. We are having 2 reruns with Blade having the same 4 stars as Ruanmei's banner and Kafka's rerun with the same 4 stars as Dr. Ratio's banner. For players that are missing out a very comfortable DPS, the skills with HP very tanky, easy to use, Blade would be an ideal choice over here. While players that are interested in starting their journey with the new DOT comp, considering that we did get a new DOT Relic set, Kafka would be an excellent pick here. She is the foundation for all DOT comps from now and going forward into the future. We are getting a new Echoes of War, Borrowhole Planet's old creator that is going to be a new weekly boss, as well as a new zone that is Seclusion Zone, so a brand new map in Herta Space Station. The two most important things that I personally would be interested in is the inclusion of new endgame content that is Pure Fiction, 4 stages with 720 jades alternate bi-weekly with our current Memory of Chaos, as well as the fact that if we clear stage 2, we will get a free links. And then for the Memory of Chaos update, we are getting Memory of Chaos 11 and 12. We can now skip floor 1 to 6 if we cleared them with the 3-star previously, and we'll now be starting at stage 7. Both Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction will last for 6 weeks, so after the first 2 weeks there will be alternation, so there is an overlap between both Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction. Various items have also been added to the Memory of Chaos / Forgotten Hall shop, such as resin, but we have to wait for further confirmations, as well as the fact that the previous broadcast they mentioned new 4-star light cones changing the Forgotten Hall, so we'll be looking forward to that. We are getting a free Dr. Ratio. I genuinely cannot believe this shit, guys. From winning the 3 game awards on the TGA, claimable before the patch 2.1 ends. From a business perspective, players are also generally more hyped for ruanmei being our first limited 5-star harmony that has been coming out ever since the game launched, and going into version 2.0 we are getting Black Swan and Sparkle, and both of which are extremely popular characters. So Dr. Ratio is in like a very weird situation where I think most players would opt for either the waifus in front or the waifus behind, and MiHoYo pulling this absolute power move, it just goes to show that they really understand their demographics well. They really can get along to the side of the players, and it's just such a great move from MiHoYo's department. So remember to claim your Dr. Ratio. As long as you unlock the mail function, you can go ahead and claim him before patch 2.1 ends. Going into that, we have a sneak peek of 2.0 Penacony updates featuring Robin, Misha, Firefly, Gallagher, Duke Inferno, Sam, Argenti, Black Swan, Sparkle and Arcaria. Some of these images, I believe they are their light cone images, especially since we do see Himiko's light cone as well as Dr. Ratio's light cone. So I do believe most of these are light cone images, and they are pretty much the teased units that will be coming with us from version 2.0 onwards when we arrive at Penacony. Some QOL updates for daily missions, such as easier experience so that we can clear dailies even faster, as well as access to essential materials domains even if players have not explored the area yet. This is not so important, but it is more for the new players who just got into the game. You just started want to play honkaistarrail and you want to access these regions, then they will be alternating sections where you can still access the essential materials when you haven't unlocked the map. For the old players, this is not so important. And lastly, increase the max squad party from 5 all the way up to 9, which is absolutely massive, especially for players like me that like the theorycraft and make different team comps, right? Then going into the events, we do have the update to Simulated Universe, which is very similar to Storm Disaster. That is gold and gears with the new Path Erudition. So very similar to Storm Disaster. Expect to get a ton of jades, a ton of content, a ton of playtime when players enter into this. We also have the Virtual Scent Venture, some sort of battle. I'm not really sure what this exactly is about, but we will go into see what's up with that. Critter Pick, which is the brand new. When I first saw this, I genuinely thought it was a pet system that we're going to be introducing. I was absolutely blown away. I'm not really sure what this is as well, but the only thing I know is they're extremely cute, so look forward to that. Oh my god, it's a top cut. We also have 2-time Planet Fisher, which is a Simulated Universe drops, as well as 2-time Realm of the Strange, which is the 4-piece relic drop. So both really good, especially for players who wants to improve their relics. And finally, we have the Gift of Odyssey, as per usual, every single patch, 10 free summons per daily login. And that will essentially cover the general summary of what happened in patch 1.6 live stream. Now, I do want to take this opportunity to talk about how players can better prepare themselves going into the new endgame, especially Memory of Chaos 12. From my previous video where we talked about the Memory of Chaos difficulty drama, I noticed that a significant portion of player base have not even cleared up to Memory of Chaos 10. I hope that with this video, I can show you guys and understand exactly how you can improve your Memory of Chaos playing experience. Even if you're not going for 0 cycles, I think that just understanding a few of these tricks will greatly improve your playing experience, especially when newer endgame content is arriving to Honkai Star Rail. I genuinely cannot believe this shit, guys. Now, I will be using OURGenti as an example for our current Memory of Chaos 10 stage, and I will be using him on the first half against a stage with no physical weakness, no Silver Wolf, just to show you guys exactly how in an inherently difficult off-element battle, players can still make use of good team building as well as speed tuning to get the victory that you guys want, right? So jumping into the battle right now, you can see that my very first thing that you can notice is that I'm running a 4-piece healer set. The 4-piece Passerby provides us with 1 additional skill point at the start of the battle. Since MiHoYo have been raising the difficulty in terms of the number of stages we clear, players should expect to clear Memory of Chaos with lesser and lesser cycles. So it is now kind of a race against time, not so that you guys couldn't do enough damage back in the past, right? We can just store away, run our healer, and slowly take our time. Right now, there is a sense of urgency when it comes to how fast exactly you can clear Memory of Chaos, and as such, the additional skill point at the start of the battle might actually be really important when it comes to getting in your skills and rotations in due time. As you guys can see over here, my Huo is gonna go ahead and use her heals on my entire team just to generate more energy for herself so that she can get her ultimate in due time. And one thing I like to say, for this specific setup, I'm actually not using Huo's ultimate at all from start all the way till the end. I'm literally just going to be using her ultimate a single time. Yukong and Bronya, they're going to both auto attack to generate our spec to 5 skill points. We are going to be slowly taking our time. We just need to align our ultimates with OURGenti's enhanced ultimate. Like I mentioned in all of my guides, OURGenti does not need 100% buff uptime. We just need to make sure that he gets his buff during the time of his enhanced ultimate, and then he's going to be able to deal tons and tons of damage, right? So we're going to get hit over here, you know, some RNG, getting energy. It really doesn't matter that much, because as long as we get Bronya and Yukong's ultimate, that's good enough. So as you can see here, Argenti is going to go ahead and use a skill, just generate some energy, generate some stacks, right? Some crit rate stacks. Ho is just going to basic attack because we are at maximum energy. And at this point, you can see that Yukong will now use her ultimate to give us a further crit rate, crit damage, and attack buff. At this moment, Bronya is going to cast her ultimate to give us a crit damage and attack buff. So at this point, Argenti has a lot of buffs going for him. And now we're going to use our skill once, which gives us enough energy to trigger off enhanced ultimate, and it's just going to absolutely destroy everything with a single hit, right? This is an E0 S1 Argenti level 72 using Before in this situation. So it is definitely doable. Once this is the power of Argenti, once you line up all the buffs together and just do obscene amounts of damage essentially. And keep in mind, Alumatron also has no physical weakness, so it's actually resistant to physical as well. But Argenti just does not give two shits, right? So the first stage, really easy, just line up all the buffs and get rid of this. Second stage now, Yukong at this point, she's always gonna be using her basic attack, right? At no point is Yukong gonna be using a skill whatsoever, because our Yukong is at Idolin 6, and like I mentioned, Argenti only needs the buff during his enhanced ultimate. So there's no point where we need to ever have Yukong's attack buff outside of Argenti's enhanced ultimate. So Yukong is essentially completely skill point positive, completely spending her basic attacks, and only gonna be using her ultimate to align up with Argenti's out, right? So at this point, I'm still not using Huo's out, because I'm only going to be using Huohuo's ultimate at the very last stage, as you guys can see later on. But I will be using a cleanse over here just to give us the 2 stacks of talent, so that in case we get crowd controlled by Automatron, we can still remove the debuff applied to us, right? So this is going to ensure that our line can go smoothly. So this is strictly just a safety measure just to prevent the getting crowd control on the kind of stuff, right? And then we're just going to get hit here using our skill. Bronya is going to use our skill on Argenti just to make sure that Argenti gets enough energy before the next hit, right? We want to get our enhanced ultimate up as soon as possible. So Argenti's skill into Bronya's skill into Argenti's skill. And now Automatron is going to activate his sanction mode, summoning his goldfish, and this is where the most important part comes. Yuko is going to basic attack. Huohuo is still going to basic attack, right? So we are going to be at 3 skill points. Now this is where there will be issues where you guys might not successfully clear the stage, and we'll probably have to reset because I am going to be doing a 0 cycle over here, right? So Guardian Shadow, not so much issue, right? She just wants to hit us. With Automatron, the cast is Imprison onto Huohuo. Yukong, that is fine because we have the cleanse provided by Huohuo's talent. So upon reaching our Argenti or Bronya's turn, then the debuff, the imprison caster on our other allies, they will be cleansed, right? So this is why I said we needed Huohuo's talent over there. But however, if Automatron were to cast his imprison on either Argenti or Bronya, then we might either have not enough energy. Definitely it cannot be casted onto Bronya, because if you cast it onto Bronya, then Bronya cannot cast her ultimate, cannot cast her skills in due time, right? So that definitely cannot happen. So we do need to do a little bit of reset here. As long as he casts his imprison on either Huohuo or Yukong, then we will have enough damage to clear this in 0 cycles. So as you can see, this is the run, right? I managed to get a run, so I'm just gonna go ahead use a skill 1 time. We're not gonna be using our enhanced ultimate now, even though we can, because I want to line up with Bronya's crit damage buff, right? So now Bronya will cast a skill onto Argenti, and at this point we have our entire Exodia formation set up, right? We have Argenti's ultimate, we have Bronya's ultimate, we have Yukong's ultimate, and we have Huohuo's ultimate. So first thing we do, we want to cast Yukong's ultimate first, because Yukong's crit damage buff actually impacts Bronya as well. So after casting Yukong's crit damage buff, and then when we cast Bronya's attack buff and crit damage buff, we will get even more crit damage, since now Bronya has an additional 70% crit damage, right? So really important over there. And then once that is done, you can see that Argenti, we are absolutely stacked to the gills. We have perfectly a 101 crit rate from Yukong's crit rate buff. We have 403 crit damage, as well as a massive 3600 attack buff, on top of 126% damage buff, right? So now our Argenti is gonna let go of like the absolutely ridiculous amount of damage, just absolutely destroying all the mobs over here. So it's just gonna let go of his ultimate. He has no issues one-shotting the goldfish. And at this point, I do want to take a pause over here, because Argenti's 6 hits, they're still gonna be random. So they might go into Automatron, they might go into Guardian Shadow. Ideally, we want to separate the 6 hits into either 4-2, 2-4, or 3-3. You do not want a situation where it's like 5-1, 1-5, or 6-0, 0-6, right? Because if that happens, then we might not have enough damage with our AoE hits, right? Since Argenti is a AoE hit with his non-enhanced ultimate as well as his skill, right? So we want to distribute the damage evenly over here. So unfortunately, if you do not get a good distribution, we will have to reset and we will not be getting a good cycle. So now in this run, we actually perfectly distribute themselves into 3-3, right? You can see over here very clearly it's 3 instances on Automatron and 3 instances onto Guardian Shadow. So at this point, the goldfish is gonna die, marking a 60% defense reduction, and then Huohuo is gonna finally use her ultimate, giving Argenti the energy buff as well as the attack buff. So when Argenti uses our skill, we will be perfectly have enough energy to cast his non-enhanced ultimate again, perfectly one-shot and kill both enemies with a single swipe of his non-enhanced ultimate, getting us the 0 cycle clear, right? So from this experience, I hope that you guys can see and understand exactly how we can make use of our team building, understanding the enemy mechanics, speed tuning our team to actually help us create this Memory of Chaos 10 0 cycle clear. While players might not be interested in doing a 0 cycle themselves, but I do believe that the principles here still apply, and it will be greatly beneficial when we go into more and more difficult stages in Memory of Chaos 11 as well as Memory of Chaos 12, right? And at this point, we have pretty much come to the end of the video. I'm really looking forward to what Memory of Chaos 12 has to bring. I'm really looking forward to what Pure Fiction has to bring, and just generally the entire version 1.6 patch has just been such a massive W. I've never seen a better patch ever since I've played Honkai. This is genuinely the best live stream I've ever witnessed. So going forward, look forward to more Memory of Chaos 12 content, look forward to more Pure Fiction content, and look forward to more Storm Disaster 2 content, or the Go and Glitter. I'm just gonna call it Storm Disaster 2, right? So if you guys have any comments, if you guys want to engage in further further discussions, feel free to drop a comment down below or just simply hop on to Pokke's Village. We have a very active community talking about honkaistarrail on a daily basis. If you guys want to check out my stream, that's going to be at twitch.tv/MrPokke. I stream 2 to 3 times a week and the schedule will be updated on Discord as well, right? So with that, we've come to the end of today's content. All the best for Argenti pools, if not all the best for your ruanmei pools. Comment mihoyo W and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.